Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, July 19, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Seizure of assets likely as opposition yet to pay millions in costs for legal cases lost. 5 facilities upgraded as UK's Smart Hospitals initiative in Guyana ends. Guyana's passport ranked 59th in world. Laborer killed after being struck by lightning. 45% of house lots allocated for 2022 went to women, says Finance Minister, and government commits to regularizing Maka Arcadia informal settlement. Now for the news in detail. In our lead story this evening, Davina Samaru reports that Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal has warned that court-martials may soon move to seize assets of certain opposition members who have failed to pay millions in costs as awarded by the courts in the various legal cases they have lost.
Just last month, the Attorney General Chambers revealed that it was in the process of moving to recover costs awarded in litigation lost by the main parliamentary opposition. Providing an update on this process on Tuesday, Attorney General Anil Nandlal shared that the opposition has continued to refuse to pay what is duly owed.
They were sent notification letters, they were sent reminders. The matter was widely published in the press when I made the comments that enforcement proceedings will be filed. And notwithstanding all the above, they have refused, obstinately refused, to pay the costs.
Nandlal argued that this constitutes contempt of court. He said, having instructed his lawyers to begin the process of enforcing the judgments, it now means that assets of defaulting opposition members can be seized.
It means that persons' vehicles and other movable properties will be seized by marshals of the High Court and sold at an execution sale to recover the monies.
Among the cases where outstanding costs are yet to be made, Nandlal made reference to the Christopher Jones and Norris Witter matter, where they were each ordered to pay some $1.2 million in costs after the judge had dismissed their case. Another case he highlighted is the one involving 8 opposition parliamentarians who were each ordered to pay $350,000 to each of the 3 defendants in the case: Nandlal, the House Speaker Manzoor Nadir, and Clerk of the National Assembly Sherlock Isaacs. In fact, Nandlal had previously informed that the opposition has unpaid costs orders dating back to its 2020 election-related cases at the Caribbean Court of Justice. Meanwhile, as an alternative to the seizure of assets, Nandlal had disclosed that the opposition could also face jail time for failing to honor the judgments or cost orders. Reporting for the evening news, Davina Samaru.
Once again, here is Davina Samaru, who reports that the United Kingdom's Smart Hospitals initiative in Guyana has officially come to an end, with the last of 5 hospitals that were earmarked to be upgraded being commissioned in April of this year. The British High Commission in Georgetown last evening held a reception to commemorate the last several years of working on this project, which has seen all 5 institutions transformed into more efficient facilities that better serve the needs of the communities.
7 Caribbean countries were identified to benefit from the £46.3 million Strengthening Health Facilities in the Caribbean Smart Hospital project, which is funded by UK aid and implemented by PAHO in close collaboration with the Ministries of Health of the selected countries. In Guyana, 71 health facilities were assessed, and it was determined that the hospitals at Diamond, Lenora, Mabaruma, Lethem and Paramakatoy will benefit from the upgrades. Today, all 5 facilities have been upgraded into smart hospitals, that is, facilities that can withstand disasters and that are more efficient and climate-friendly. British High Commissioner to Guyana Jane Miller noted that though the physical upgrade of the facilities has ended, the initiative has long-lasting impacts.
It was never the intention that the end of retrofitting is the end of the project. The whole idea of the project was to develop a blueprint, to develop a toolkit that would enable facilities to be retrofitted or facilities to be built with better facilities, with better standards in mind. And the key things we were looking out for was firstly being resilient to those disasters. So in a hurricane area, you make sure the roof is strong. In a flooding area, you raise it or make sure it's flood prevention. But also it was about greening the facilities. It was also about making sure they have green standards. So for example, the lighting, making sure it's LED lighting. Maybe it was in terms of having solar or rainwater harvesting.
She encouraged the government to now ensure these standards are embedded in new infrastructure going forward. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony agreed. In delivering remarks, the minister revealed that the government has also taken it upon itself to add to the hospitals outside of what the UK project catered for. For instance, he said at Lenora, the government added a maternity area, whereas in Diamond they will be installing additional X-ray machines, and in Latham there is now an ICU.
As we move forward with all the changes that are happening with our climate, we have to maybe climate-proof, might be the word or the term, climate-proof all of our health facilities so that they can continue to operate despite whatever disaster comes.
Let's now tell you that the Guyana passport is now ranked number 59 in the 2023 Henley Passport Index, with access to 88 visa-free destinations, an improvement from the number 64 ranking in 2022. Guyana is tied in the 59th position with Jamaica and Bahrain, but outperforms nations like Suriname, which is ranked 65, China, which came in at 63, and India, which is at the 80th position. The world's most powerful passport is Singapore, with access to 192 countries, followed by Germany, Italy, and Spain, with access to 190. Outside of their Caribbean community CARICOM neighbors, Guyana passport holders can enjoy visa-free travel to nations such as Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Fiji, Malaysia, Panama, Peru, Philippines, Russia, Singapore, and United Kingdom, among other nations. In other cases, Guyana passport holders can benefit from a visa upon arrival at countries like Armenia, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, and other nations. During Guyana's presentation of its voluntary national review on its progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, it was revealed that 45% of all house lot allocations for last year went directly to women. Gerald Bryan has the details.
Guyana's VNR was presented to the United Nations by Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh earlier this week. He revealed that Guyana has made significant progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, of which there are 17. Sustainable Development Goal 5 speaks to gender equality and empowering women and girls. One area in which women are being empowered is land ownership, with Minister Singh revealing almost 50% of house lot allocations last year went to women.
Business incubators and business process outsourcing have seen greater employment of women over recent years. In keeping with Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, accelerated investments will make 50,000 new house lots available by 2025 to increase the housing stock. Within recent years, over 24,000 house lots have been distributed, primarily to low and middle-income households. In addition, a young professionals housing program has increased access to housing solutions for Guyana's youth. Notably, in 2022, 45% of all house lot allocations were to female-headed households, up from 42% in 2021.
Other areas in which Guyana has made progress in achieving the SDGs include increasing access to potable water in hinterland communities.
Under Goal 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, our government has taken steps to improve availability and sustainable management of water, including by investing in infrastructure and equipment to bring potable water supply to over 30,000 persons in the hinterland for the first time. This has increased the proportion of hinterland population with access to safe water supply from 33.8% in 2019 to 75% as at the end of 2022.
The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are outlined in the UN Agenda 2030. Guyana had its first VNR in 2019. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Here now is Pooja Rambaran, who reports that the Housing and Water Ministry, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, is working to regularize an informal settlement in Maka, Arcadia, on the east bank of Demerara.
On Tuesday, Housing Minister Colin Crowell and Public Service Minister Sonia Parag met with residents to update them on plans to address their concerns. The land in question consists of 5 fields and falls under the purview of the Guyana Sugar Corporation, GUYSUCO. Crowell stated that the ministry will be engaging GUYSUCO for the transfer of land, after which 3 of the more densely populated fields will be regularized.
Our intention is, we're not here to displace persons or remove persons, but our presence here is to work with a process, and that process will mean that we'll have to do the planning and the alignment and take stock of where persons are, but we can't do on the whole field of all the land that you see there. There are 3 blocks that we're committing that we will do regularization for. We cannot capture 100% of you, but we can capture 100% of you when some of you move into the box that we will regularize and we will do the design for.
As such, persons falling out of these 3 fields, as well as those living within the buffer for the emerging 4-lane highway, will have to shift into the eventually regularized areas. The minister emphasized that the government's intention is not to displace individuals, but to facilitate a structured process, and that the Housing Ministry is committed to working closely with residents throughout each step. He noted that the regularization process is costly and time-consuming.
In regularization, there are 2 things that has to happen. One, we have to be cognizant, or we have to take stock of where persons are. And so when we're doing the design, you have to have road networking because you have to have access, you have to have drainage, etc. So we also have to do what is called the occupational survey.
In November 2022, the Central Housing and Planning Authority conducted an inventory and recorded a total of 357 occupied and unoccupied structures in the area. Meanwhile, Crowell called on residents to discourage others from squatting in the area, as this will prolong the process. He also urged them to report the construction of additional structures.
The government is committing to working with you. But as I said, this process can't move quickly if you don't hold your end of the bargain.
Pooja Rambaran for The Evening News.
Coming up, laborer killed after being struck by lightning, and Tradewinds 2023, strengthening responses to marine sea threats through multinational cooperation. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Turbo energy drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Wheels promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V. Plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo energy drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean. For more details, conditions apply.
Who knows if they actually need the roads that are being built.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Knock off. The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
The Quarantine Highway from Palmyra to Crabwood Creek Region 6 is being upgraded and widened to improve the lives of thousands of Guyanese. Some $27.7 billion is going towards the widening of the structures along the carriageway to accommodate a 4-lane highway and to relocate utilities. Oil revenues are being channeled into Ghana's development and is benefiting infrastructural projects such as these.
Poultry farmers, save money and increase your production rate by cutting the time it takes to pluck your chickens with a plucking machine from Sylvies. We have them available in small, medium and large sizes. Replacement motors and plucking fingers are also readily available. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our locations at 31 High and Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or Lot 90 East Henrietta, Essex.
If you want real energy, just sing on if you got on too. Good source of iron for me and for you, make you feel like say you have energy for two. When you make a man flex with you and your crew work late, I left the gym after 2. Vigatan tonic at the remedy for some man for sue. So send on if you got on too. Vigatan. From your new energy you are defend. Just send on if you got on 10. Strong up your body, drink and come again. Vigatan 2 are the remedy, my friend.
Vigatan 2, good source of vitamin and iron for you.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Almost 3 months after the Planning and Development Single Window System Bill was sent to a special select committee, a report on the committee's review of the bill will be presented to the National Assembly. A number of clauses have been added to the bill, and Gerald Bryan reports.
The Planning and Development Single Window System Bill is a piece of legislation intended to revolutionize doing business in Guyana. Back in April 2023, the government had agreed to send the bill to a special select committee for it to be reviewed by both sides of the House. With that review now complete, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell will on Thursday be presenting a report from the committee's review to the National Assembly. Among the changes that have been made to the bill is a subclause mandating the monitoring and evaluation of the relevant agencies as they do their work. Another inclusion is mandating the publishing of semi-annual reports on the number of applications received and their status. The bill provides for a tribunal that will hear complaints by persons whose applications for building and other permits have been refused. Following the Select Committee's review, it was decided to have all appeals to the tribunal heard in public, where the complainant may appear in person or be represented by their lawyer. Another clause was added giving the Cabinet the power of reviewing decisions of the tribunal that are of national interest. Appeals to the tribunal must also be heard within 3 months. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The government has aligned Guyana's national development pathway to focus on priority areas such as food security and agriculture financing as it works towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Goal 2, Zero Hunger. Here are the details from Pooja Rambaran.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa made this remark on Tuesday during a meeting with the Director General of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, Manuel Otero, and other agriculture ministers across the region.
The agriculture and food systems sector in Guyana is being repositioned and transformed into an expanded, diversified, modernized, resilient and competitive sector. As we work to achieve the SDGs, particularly SDGs 2, Zero Hunger, Guyana has aligned our national development pathway to focus on priority areas such as food security, climate change, and agriculture financing. As the region implements the CARICOM Agri-Food Systems agenda, Guyana has committed to playing an integral role in fulfilling the goal of reducing CARICOM's food import bill by 25% by 2025. As we are aware, the region has a high food import bill, which is estimated at approximately $6 billion per annum.
Mustafa added that the targeted approach is necessary when addressing food and nutrition security. This involves the integration of the health and education sectors, along with technology and climate change mitigation.
We cannot confront food security and nutritional security without simultaneously confronting climate change, which is a big issue in the Caribbean today, confronting our education system and health system, and confronting sustainable development. To this end, we need the support of our international partners, like ICA, as we understand and seek to implement initiatives that address the linkages between food production and food security.
He stated that the government has been advancing food security in the Caribbean through increases in budgetary allocations and collaborations with the private sector to establish the necessary infrastructure to support these efforts.
We have moved expenditure from $13.3 billion in 2019 to today $33.2 billion in 2023, and we'll have more to be expended in the coming months. We are also working with the private sector so that we can create a state-of-the-art regional food hub in Guyana, and that is on the card presently as I am speaking here. Our technical officers are working to find the land space and also start the process of building that food hub.
Guyana is also aiming to bridge the production gap by diversifying from traditional industries, developing high-yielding, pest-resistant, climate-resilient crop varieties, and introducing improved genetics in livestock. Meanwhile, there have been several agriculture input support programs for farmers, while efforts are being made to upgrade infrastructure in the sector. Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
29-year-old Sean Easton, also known as Shawnee of Swan Village, Soos-Dijk-Linden Highway, lost his life on Sunday after allegedly being struck by lightning. The incident occurred during an unexpected and intense downpour with thunder and lightning while he was returning home from work. Prior to the incident, it was raining. He was discovered lying face down in a nearby creek with severe burns on the right side of his body, from his head down to his knee. He was picked up and rushed to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The Speaker's Youth Debating Competition concluded on Tuesday with the Human Services and Social Securities Ministry's Young Influencers team securing the coveted win. Pooja Rambaran reports.
Hosted at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, the final moot was CARICOM's biggest achievements are exemptions and excuses. Serving as the proposition team, the young influencers Carissa McClure, Saya Prasad, and Andrew King competed against reigning champions, Golden Om Dharmic Youth Organizations Narima Ali, Devekanan Nankumar, and Dayomani Ramlochan. Ultimately, the young influencers emerged victorious.
We were coming up against the defending champions, and we were first-timers in this competition, so it was really scary for us. Before the competition, we were really anxious, but having won and having gained the title of the best debaters in Guyana, across Guyana, it's really fantastic. I'm really thankful for the Honourable Speaker for giving us this platform to engage with other like-minded youth and, really hone our debating abilities. We had to do a lot of research, a lot of thinking, a lot of anticipating, and overall I really think it broadened our horizon and expanded our knowledge, not just for me, but I know all my teammates would share those sentiments.
The first speaker of her team, Carissa McClure, also secured the Best Speaker title. In the coming month, the Young Influencers team will advance their skills at the Youth Parliament.
We will be shadow ministers at Youth Parliament in the senior category, and that's going to kick off on August 12. After that, hopefully we could be, or a member of our team could go to represent Guyana on the regional field.
Culture, Youth and Sports Minister Charles Ramsden Jr. commended the participants and noted that their educational journey does not end at this competition.
What you're learning here is not something that is not going to be valuable for you as you move forward in your life, and it should not stop here. We're going to open up to anyone, someone from our ministry is going to be here in a second, where if you're interested in an apprenticeship or a mentorship, or even to volunteer in anything that we're doing, you can feel free to speak to me, and we'll take down all of your names if you're interested, and we'll work around the kind of spacing that you can have at our ministry.
The competition was launched in March and saw the participation of some 50 youth groups across the country. The final 16 groups advanced to compete at the National Youth Debating Competition until the final round on Tuesday. Awards were given to the teams making it to the final and the other participants who demonstrated key public speaking skills in the previous rounds. Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
We are now joined by Luanda McAllister, who reports that in an effort to bolster their capabilities to address marine and sea threats, soldiers from more than 21 countries came together on Day 2 of Exercise Tradewinds 2023 in a crucial training event held in the coastal waters of Guyana with the aim of exchanging knowledge and skills that would enhance their response readiness in the face of potential threats within their Caribbean countries and the wider Caribbean region.
Under the guidance of the U.S. Army, participants engaged in rigorous training focusing on countering drug trafficking, oil spills, and piracy, critical issues for regional security. The comprehensive training covered tactical marine operations, boat handling, and passenger exchange techniques to ensure effective coordination in real-time emergencies. Soldiers shared insights such as Brian Sinclair from the Jamaica Defense Force, who emphasized the importance of understanding vessel shapes and measurements to detect hidden spaces used by traffickers.
It's very useful. It will help us, like as him say, as it would suggest, find hidden spaces, whereas people back home might try smuggle drugs. Yeah.
Do you mind explain how it find spaces?
All right, so once you take the external and internal measurement of the vessel, so for example, the external measurement would be 9 feet, and then you measure the inside, it is like 8 foot 2 inches. So there will be a missing space of like 8 inches in which you would have to account for somewhere or somewhat. So normally I could use a bore scope and push through to try to find the woman area.
So it then raises suspicion?
Yeah, raises suspicion.
Joint operations in the Demerara River further solidified cooperation among coast guards from different nations, enhancing their ability to respond swiftly to complex maritime situations. The Mexican Navy's involvement provided valuable cross-training opportunities, including search and rescue exercises, deck landing qualifications, and air operations. A highlight was a demonstration of an emergency rescue evacuation, highlighting the significance of seamless coordination in saving lives during maritime emergencies. Noting that there is always room for improvement, GDF Coast Guard Mark Rover explained how the marine training will aid ranks in the execution of their daily duties.
There is always room for improvement, and a lot of different techniques that was done by the U.S. Coast Guard can be implemented into our operational structure.
Exercise Tradewinds has a long-standing tradition of enhancing regional security and cooperation efforts. Beyond countering threats, it emphasizes humanitarian and disaster relief operations, promoting a sense of responsibility towards vulnerable communities. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Luanda McAllister.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed from 4 hours 15 on Thursday, July 20, 2023 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Barbies River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 5 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Cricket Academy set for year-end completion, says Sport Minister, and West Indies set to face India in final test in TNT. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Maka, coming up on the other side of the break.
Play virtual blackjack for an exclusive gaming experience. Do you have what it takes to beat the dealer? Visit www.superbet.gy and check out all the different bet types. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
Turbo energy drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Wheels promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo energy drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean. For more details, conditions apply.
Maka, the Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first. Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and